So, good day everyone. This is the maintenance and repair project. This is a report of Group 8. So, let me introduce my group mates. First is the John Eric Sabellano, Jess Anthony Silvano, Jul Torres, John Camilo Vergara, and yours truly, Jevenson Villahermosa. And the instructor is engineer Danny Alistair Cañete. So, next slide. So, the topic that we're going to tackle is the first, identify or name the list at least 10 critical machinery or equipment inside the engine room. Second, describe the use of each critical machinery and equipment and explain why is it considered as a critical equipment. And lastly, state the allowable and minimum required number of spare parts, pieces or its sets of each critical equipment. So the first reporter will be Engine Cadet Silvano. So I'll pass the stage to you.
So I'm just Silvano, and for my part, it is the high and low level alarms. So high and low level alarms. Low alarms are used to prevent pumps from running dry and to notify you when your tank's oil needs to be refilled. The storage tank is capable of sounding an alarm during a filling process. When the liquid level nears the top of the tank, high alarms are employed. So this alarm is used to determine if the liquid or water inside the tank is high or low. So low level alarms are used if the liquid inside the tank is below its if kulang I mean ganun lang siya. So and high level alarms is used if the liquid is dagan na siya. So it's critical to have a set of alarms in engine room since they can be utilized to determine which machinery or systems the alarm is related to. Attempt to discover the deflect the defect that is causing the alarm to sound. So in the engine room we have different machineries and equipments, and each of them needs to have alarm, so we could determine if it is in critical condition or good condition. So these alarms are used to determine the different types of parameters in the engine room. So machineries and equipment needs to have spare parts so that if any parts are damaged, we can replace it. So for the low level alarms, we have one set and one set also for high alarms. So next is the feed water system pump sets. So a feed pump is a type of pump that supplies water to a boiler to produce steam. For industrial purposes, a feed pump supplies a liquid for further processing. These pumps are high pressure pumps and are generally have two types: displacement and display positive displacement type feed pumps. So feed pump are used to carry the water to boiler so that we could produce steam, and steam is used for many processes like heating the HFO. So for its required number of spare parts, we need to have one set of feed water pump, one bearings or shaft for one bearing of each size and type fitted, complete with shims, bolts, and nuts, one mechanical seal, one shaft sleeve, one set of impeller, and one gasket seal, and also one set of relief valve. So here are the spare parts. And this is also a relief ball.
So good day. I'm Engine Cadet Sabellano and I'm explaining the main and auxiliary engine circulating system pump sets. A fuel pump works to supply a definite amount of fuel to all cylinder irrespective of the load at the correct time interval based on the firing order. The fuel pump provides high pressure fuel to the injector, which then open the valve against the spring tension to automate fuel to the cylinder. So the main and auxiliary engine system pump are very important to the engine because it is provide uh, um, a pressurized fuel to the injection pump, and the injection pump will provide more pressurized fuel to open the valve against the spring tension of the injector to make automized fuel to the cylinder. And next, so the required number of spare parts of main and auxiliary pumps are first one set of circulating pump, one main bearings or shells for one bearing of each size and type fitted, completed with shims, bolts, and nuts. One mechanical seal, one shaft sleeve, one set of impeller, one gasket seal, and one set of relief valve. Next. So these are the pictures of the some parts of main and auxiliary pump. Next. So the main engine electrical blower. So provide positive charge air during starting of engine and low load running. Maintenance the pressure of scavenging air a little higher than the exhaust and atmospheric pressure in order to drive out the exhaust gases. So main engine electrical blower. So it is providing positive charge while starting the engine and load running. Next. So the required spare parts of main engine electrical blower is one set of electrical blower, one set of cylinder head assembly, one set of cylinder liner, complete with joint, rings, and gaskets, one full set of piston and piston rings and piston cooling, and one gasket seal. Next. So this is the uh, parts of engine electrical blower. Next.
So, main switchboard and components. The main switchboard is generally located near the center of the distribution system, and this is normally the main engine room or machinery control room. So, main switchboard is the main control or the main or it is the machinery control room. The main purpose of the board is to control the flow of power. It divides the main current supplied to it into several smaller chunks and distributes it to the devices. In precise, switchboards supply power to transformers. transformers, panels, and other equipment, and from the power further gets distributed. Next. So this is the example of main switchboard. Next. So the required number of spare parts: one set of low voltage switch, one set of sheet metal parts, one set of circuit breakers, one set of switch gear and components. So these are the spare parts of one set of voltage switch, sheet metal parts, circuit breakers, and switchgear components. Next, main and auxiliary engine system filters. The filter is a fine mesh screen which is used to remove impurities from oil, water, and air on the ship. Filters are mounted in pairs as a duplex system so that one can be used and other is kept on standby at a time. Fuel and oil filters get used for the same function, but the difference is the fluid they use. The fuel filter takes out the particles in the fuel, and the oil filter works through the engine oil. So a filter is a machinery on board that remove the impurities of oil, water, and air on the ship. Next. So this is an example of a filter. Next. So required number of spare parts: one set of air filter, one set of fuel filter, one set of oil filter, one set of gasket and packings, one set of O-rings. That this is the picture of the spare parts of a filter. Next.
Okay. The next topic is the HFO and LO pumps, or the heavy fuel oil and the lubricating oil pumps. So the HFO is, or the heavy fuel oil, is the most widely used type of fuels for commercial vessels. HFO, or the heavy fuel oil, to power their engines. The main LO pumps that take the suction from the main engine sump tank and discharge oil via the main LO cooler, which takes away the heat. An optically back flashing filter unit with a magnetic core helps to remove the any metal debris. Marine fuel pumps are required on board vessel to load fuel oil onto the ship, to transfer it from a tank to tank once on board and feed it into the engine. So next slide. So as you can see in the slide, the which is the green one, that is the heavy fuel oil tank, and the other side is the lubricating oil pump. So next slide, please. So for the required number of spare parts, so first is a set of circulating pump, one main bearing or shells for one bearing of each size, pipe fitted, completed with shimps, bolts, and nuts. Next, a mechanical seal. Next is a shaft sleeve, a set of impeller, a gasket seal rather, a set of relief valve. Next slide, please. So this is the picture of the spare parts. This is a set of circulating pump. Next is the main bearings, a mechanical seal, a shaft sleeve, a set of impeller, and a gasket seal. So next slide, please. So this is a set of relief valve as well. Next slide. So the next topic, boiler water gauge glass sets. The water level gauge provides a visible indication of the water level in the boiler in the region of the correct level. So the boiler gauge is a sight glass which indicates uh, the gauge, the water level of the water in the boiler. So a mark on the boiler body indicates a desired normal water level, and the sight glass shows the current level. So as you can see in the picture, it shows the current of the water level. Next slide. For the required number of spare parts, so one set of gauge glass for water. So this for water na gauge glass. Next. So next next reporter please.
So, I'm the next reporter, Engine Candidate Vergara Jhon Camilo, to discuss about the boiler safety valve set. Safety valves are typically used for boiler overpressure protection and other applications such as downstream of pressure reducing controls. Although their primary role is for safety, safety valves are also used in process of operations to prevent conduct damage due to overexceed pressure. So, one example of this safety valve is in the air compressor. If the air compressor is in overpressure, the safety valve automatically open and exceeds the remaining pressure. So next slide. So the required number of spare parts: one set of safety valve, one glad packing seal, one gasket for the valve. So next slide, please. So are the pictures of the one set of safety valves and one glad packing seal and one gasket for the valve. So next. So next is the fuel tank quick closing valve. So quick closing valves are fitted to oil tanks so that in the event of a fire, they can be they can be safely closed from a remote location to stop the supply of fuel to the fire. These valves may be operated remotely by pull wires, hydraulics, compressed air, and etc. So they are used for if there's a fire in where the supply oil. So this valve is automatically closed. So that's also next is the next slide, please. So requirements: required number of spare parts. So one set of fuel valves of each sizes and type fitted complete with all fittings for one engine. One set of gland packing seal and one gasket for the valve. So that's all. So can I see the pictures? So this is the picture of a one set of fuel valve of each size and type fitted completed with all fitting for one engine. So and other one is one gland packing seal and one gasket for the valve. So that's all for our report. Thank you for listening.